Alrighty. Okay, guys, I am here with the lovely Annika today. She's going to sort of share about her adventures at MadLab so far. So, first question, how long have you been here?
Since September of 2015. Yep.
Okay, so coming up. Really? Is that it?
Yes.
Wow, it seems like way longer. Okay, cool. And since back then, thinking about your life and what was going on back then, what were you looking for, and then what made you find MadLab and pick it?
So it was really interesting. I was a yoga teacher in my previous life, and after I had my daughter, I developed a really severe wrist injury. It was kind of it's a really common thing. They call it mommy thumb. It's so common, but it was literally the universe just screaming at me that it was time for me to step back and take a break. And my husband and I had kind of like joked and made a deal that like when I had a baby, my push present was going to be personal training. I was going to like get the chance to like get back on my feet afterwards. But then I was injured, and things kind of spiraled a little bit out of control. It got really challenging, and I kind of came to a place of, well, what am I going to do? I know I hate going to the gym. I did that in my 20s. I would like go and spend 20 minutes on the elliptical, like watching TV, and then go home, and like didn't feel any better and wasn't getting anywhere. I never went because it was awful. And so I thought, what am I going to do? Like go to a couple of personal training sessions, and then what's that going to get me? Like, what's my end goal? Why am I doing that? So one of my girlfriends was like, you should probably go see, I have a trainer. She used to come here. She's since moved away, but she's like, just go see Andy. He's really good with injuries. Worst case scenario, you just do some personal training sessions, and then you're like, okay, cool. You would do that anywhere. Best case scenario, maybe you get really ripped and you decide you want to stay. So that's the one that happened.
Nice.
And part of what was kind of the tipping point for me were a couple of things. One, having a physical limitation and knowing that there was a lot of stuff I couldn't do, and feeling really confident that, he was creating something for me that was really specialized and really specific and really going to work for me. But then the other piece of that is I had an 18-month-old and I was a stay-at-home mom. So I didn't have a lot of options. I couldn't just, swing by the gym on my way to or from work. She was with me all the time. So I needed somewhere, and Andy was awesome, but I needed somewhere where she could, she could be here and, run around and be a total maniac, and that was totally fine.
That's so funny. How is your wrist now?
Like, totally fine. Not even a thing at all. Yeah.
Wow, eh?
I do everything with full mobility. So it's, it was obviously the right decision.
That's really cool. So when, I guess my question is how do you feel now? So what has sort of changed for you in your life, whether it's physically, socially, emotionally, anything, and how do you feel?
So, and I think probably a lot of women who have had babies have had a similar experience. The physical transformation I went through when I had a baby was actually mostly just about my relationship with my body, and realizing instead of this thing that I'd been trying to control and unhappy with most of my life, it actually had a purpose and a function. And then, postpartum, I was super out of shape and didn't look the way that I wanted to look. And, the whole emotional spiral that came with that was really, really challenging. What I've gained here, and I think I actually sent you this picture a little while ago, but it's this beautiful image that says, and I took a deep breath and said to my body, I'm going to cry, I want to be your friend. And my body softly said, I've been waiting for this my whole life. And that's a little bit what I feel like. I feel like it does things for me, and I'm so grateful for it. And it's not it has to look a certain way, or my pant size has to say something, or the scale has to say something. It can do really awesome things. And I'm really proud of that. And I've made peace with it, and I'm grateful for it. So no big deal.
Yay! First crier!
I'm a Pisces.
Yeah. Wow. You did send me that, and it blew me away. And I think, do you feel do you now walk taller?
Yeah, it's like, it's little things too, like, I'm not afraid to go shopping for clothes,
Yeah.
right? I'm not, and I think probably if you're a lady, you can identify with that feeling of like, nothing fits and I don't like how I look, and being like, looking in the mirror and being really unhappy no matter how good it looks,
Yeah.
right? That sense of like, there always needs to be something more or something better. I'm not quite enough this, or I'm not quite enough that, even on days where, maybe like I've had too much burger and beer over the weekend and I'm a little bit bloated. There isn't that resentment of myself.
Yep, so you are enough.
Funny that.
So you've noticed a huge difference. What about friends, family? Have they noticed you being...
It's interesting actually, because it's kind of like, this is one piece of like my whole life expanding a little bit. I was in a place where I was a stay-at-home mom, and I love, like, obviously I'm so grateful for that, and I love that I get to do that, but I was feeling like I was ready for more and I wanted something else and I couldn't figure out what it was. And coming here has given me the space to feel confident in myself, so I can do the other things, so I can work on my business, and I can get better friendships, and I can do the things that are hard when you're in a really negative headspace.
Yeah. So your husband has come in the last year, I guess? 8 months?
6 months, I think.
How has that changed anything, like, in your household, or?
It's awesome. It's
Yeah.
really good. We come on Sundays and we call it Family Gym Sundays. We come to the 10 a.m. and we bring Callie, and we both work out. So that's been really, really nice, just to have that, like, it's something that's structured, that's functional, that's fun for all of us. But it's just been really neat to see him kind of go through the same things that I went through. The worst part is just now we have to fight over who gets to come to the 6 a.m.s, because like, he works and he's got to come to the 6 a.m. and I could go to a class at another time during the day, but 6 a.m., those are my peeps.
Yeah, the whole 6 a.m. pub, right?
Totally.
So funny. So why do you stick around? Why are you still here, close to 3 years later?
It's the ability to constantly challenge myself. So there's always something that I can work on. There's a new metric I can work towards. There's something else I can refine a little bit. So there's always kind of like big goals, but then, it's the community, it's the social, it's the friends, it's liking who I see when I look in the mirror. Those things are going to be around forever for me, I feel like. So
that's really cool. So last question, do you have a favorite memory or story from this place that you would share with us?
I don't have anything funny,
okay.
But I decided to do the MadLab tournament this year, which I regretted immensely for almost all of it. I spent most of the weeks before feeling like sick and like I wanted to quit, and like it was awful until the very last week when I came. I didn't want to come, but I came, and I like totally killed it, and like had a whole bunch of personal bests, and it was like, oh yeah, this is the lesson, this is the learning. I mean, that's the thing, right? It's always like, where's the learning and where's the personal growth in that? And in that moment of like, totally killing my cleans and just like setting this totally new high watermark for myself, the massive personal growth that comes with that is worth every Wednesday evening of being like, why am I doing this? Why did I agree to this?
So you're going to do it again this year?
We'll see.
Yeah. So for all those listening out there, what would be your one piece of like key thing if they're like wanting to maybe try MadLab? What would you say?
Do it and come to 6 a.m. because we're awesome.